The PGL Minor is still underway. Day 2 is now here, but we're kind of going to go back to day 1 since we have CG's rezex here. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about the games, but first let's get into the change that you guys had before this event. Obviously, you changed SIG for Zen right after you qualified, pretty much. So, why did you do that, and how did that came together?
Well, from the start, Zen was always a part of the plan for the team, but he was currently still stuck in another Finnish team called Ayura. So we had to wait a bit for him, but as soon as we qualified, he was confident enough that we would make it as a team. So we kick-started the process of getting him into the team.
So how has the team play changed since then? He's now calling for you. You're kind of helping him out as we talked about before. So how does that affect the roles within the team?
Well, the roles in the team are pretty good. After we got sent into the team, we've gotten a lot of more structure. Still a lot more to fill in there, but yeah, after all the roles are just fitting perfectly now, and with getting him into the team as an in-game leader.
All right. So what about preparation? You had about two weeks, I think, to prepare. So how much did you play?
We played actually quite a bit up into the cup here. Preparation-wise, we got a lot of pistol strats, we got a lot of defaults, a lot of like setups, rules for each other during games, and how we want to play in our map pool. We made it a bit wider by adding Inferno into it. So, but yeah, like preparation-wise, we put in some time for the different maps.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the map pool as well. I think you started with Mirage against Defrag, and then you played Cash as well, and then you played Overpass where you were really good against Penta. How wide is the map pool? Like how many maps are you actually comfortable on?
We have extended it to 5, but I will still say that on Mirage is still one of our maps that we're kind of like wobbly on, you could say. We're not that confident on it. Our CT side and our T side are there's just something that needs to be done there, but it is a map that we will start working on. But as of our other maps, we got Overpass and Dust 2, which everybody knows that we're pretty confident on. But yeah, we're working on getting our map pool bigger.
All right. Getting into the matches themselves, you touched on the Mirage problems a little bit. You had a really bad CT side, and then you were kind of catching up on the T side. How did that happen? How did that match go into play in your mind?
Well, I was playing the B side, but I just feel like again, like there's too much of Mirage, especially on our A side, and how we decide to help each other. From, for example, Draken helping in over the side, and how Moken and Sen decides to construct the side in different rounds. But like yeah, overall, I just feel like there's a big gap that we need to fill there.
Okay, then you play against LDLC on Cash. I think you started well. You started off well, and then kind of the first signs kind of showed of you like having problems with closing maps out. Then it obviously kind of like blown out of proportion against Penta. But we're gonna get to that. LDLC, yeah, they kind of came back for a little bit, and then you managed to close it out. So why were they allowed to?
I don't know. Like we got versus LDLC, we had like the absolute worst start that you could imagine. But I just said to my team that let's just keep our heads in the game and let's just focus, get the rest of the rounds. I think it ended on us 8-7. Yeah. We got the 8-7. I just said, guys, we know what our pistol strat is capable of, and I don't even remember. Did we win the pistol round? Yeah, I think actually we won a lot of our pistol rounds. But yeah, and we just started grinding those rounds, and we got a lot of T rounds, and then we started letting them get a bit back into the game, but we ended up closing it out in some good rounds.
Okay, so then you faced off against Penta. We were talking about off camera yesterday about the veto. What do you thought about Penta's veto? So let's talk about that. Like, what do you think about their veto since they let Overpass and Dust 2 through?
The veto versus Penta is actually pretty weird, or funny for us, or good, you could say. When you think about it, they want to play almost exactly the same maps as us. They want to veto the same maps that we want to veto. So when we looked at the veto, what do you say, like how the veto system works for a best of 3 here, we could see that they had a big problem in the first part because we could pick the first map and they couldn't ban like Overpass because they wanted to ban Train. There was no way they wanted to play Train, but either that we didn't want to play Train either. So I was actually still surprised over their pick, but we picked Overpass and they just fell into our lap pretty good.
So how confident are you on the map? It seems like you had a really nice time there. It was like 16-3 or no, well, not that much, but it was pretty one-sided. And then, yeah, how do you feel about the map? It seemed like you got the rotations very well set up.
Well, I said to my team before we started the Overpass, and also before picking it, I said there's a lot that we don't know about the map. Like we could have a lot of problems on it. This and that could happen, you know. But yeah, it's kind of like still an unknown map for us. But after the game versus LDLC White, we feel pretty confident. We know how we want to construct our rounds. Our mid-round calls are pretty on point. So yeah.
What about Cash then? Obviously, it was one of the first map where you kind of couldn't close it out. Was like 15-12 or something like that, and they caught up and beat you in the overtime, even though it was close even there. What is the problem that you guys had in that, like in closing it out? Is it experience?
I would say it's a mix of experience, but it's also a mix of just the way we play. I think we lack a lot of discipline in the way we think the game. There's a lot of rounds where we just overpeak, just go for the peak because we have a kind of still you could say a face it mentality or a puck mentality, but it's just the discipline. I think it comes down to in the experience.
Is it the thing that happened on Dust 2? That was even worse for you guys. It was 14-5. It ended up going into overtime. It was actually pretty one-sided there. So yeah, again, what happened there? What made you lose so quickly in the end?
I think our problem right now is that we don't have that many, as we talked about in the preparation. Our problem is that we rely a lot on Draken. He's a phenomenal opper and really good. And we rely a lot on him because we don't have the executions so we can bring in our AK. So we rely on him to get the entry frag, and then from the entry frag, that's where we start to develop a round out from that. But when he doesn't get a frag, we start like we can't do anything, and that's what Penta did. They didn't let him go for the frags where he wanted them. He couldn't get them in B. He couldn't get them anywhere. So we just ended up losing slowly.
What about the there were a lot of situations that you obviously shouldn't have lost. There were like a couple 3v2s, 4v2s, 2v1s that you lost. There was countless of them actually. So. Did you guys maybe get a little overexcited that you're so close and then yet so far?
It could be a valid point, saying that we were really close and it just got to our head. You know, oh my God, we're gonna go to the semifinals. It's gonna be amazing. But I think we had like so many clutch rounds. It hurts so much thinking about it. But yeah, I seriously just have to say it just comes down to the discipline, the way that we have to hide sometimes, and just the way we think a bit more, you know. But it hurts when thinking about it. Damn.
Sorry about making you feeling that way. Yeah, what's coming up ahead then? What's next for you guys?
Well, right now we're just our goals is to rank up in our leagues. We are currently playing in Civo Main and aiming for a Pro League, and we're also playing ESE Main, trying to get up to Premier and stuff like that. Which we don't feel like that should be a problem currently with the teams that's in these leagues, and we feel pretty confident that we should be able to do this. But yeah.
And what about organizations? Obviously, you're still under your former like the pug name, Cringe Gods. Do you have any offers? Has anyone come up to you?
There's been a few offers. We're still open for offers, but I think there's a primary offer that we are very interested in, and they also seem to be very interested in us. And yeah, they're a pretty big, well-known and well-established organization. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much for the interview. Any last words, shout outs to the new fans that you kind of gained around this event?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for everybody out there who supports the Cringe Gods. But yeah, it really is nice to read some of your comments, and yeah, I love the support, and we love the support. So thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, so that was rezex from Cringe Gods. From day 2 of PGL Minor, we're still going to get back with some of the Group B's teams and an interview with them, so stay tuned.